Howdy, Shorty. How you doing today?
It was good.
It's good. I can see by your apparel there that we must be talking about the NFL today.
Of course, we're talking about the NFL. And of course, we're going to talk about the Jets.
Okay. Let's start it off then.
So let's get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
New York Jets played the Detroit Lions over the weekend. We got a loss. We only had 17 points. Detroit Lions had 20.
Is that why your voice is dragging right now?
Yeah, it's dragging a little bit because we needed that win. We needed that win. We now only have a 16% chance of making the playoffs. But again, Mike White is hurt. And Zach Wilson was the quarterback.
He wasn't doing so well. I saw that game.
Yeah, I mean, he
it.
wasn't terrible. I mean, Zach Wilson was 18 for 35, 317 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Okay. I mean,
Which is not.
Don't sound too bad.
They're not terrible numbers.
But he didn't look so
But-
good out there on the field, though.
Yeah, it doesn't translate to wins.
Right.
No scores in the first quarter. No scores in the third quarter. You only score in the second and the fourth quarter. It puts too much pressure on your defense. Jets defense has been great all season. They've been great, but
They can't do it by themselves.
continually putting pressure on the defense is not going to work.
Right.
It's too much pressure. They got to bail us out of games all the time. And it's like you can't rely on the defense to do that all the time. The defense is not supposed to be scoring. The offense is supposed to be scoring.
Everybody has their role.
Everybody has their role. Like, you got to score points. So, with Zach Wilson in the game, now we're 7-7. Detroit's also 7-7. So, it's a game that we should have been able to win. Detroit's not that great. It's a game we should have won. C.J. Uzama played well, tight end for our Jets. He had 2 big touchdowns in the game. 2 good passes from Zach Wilson. But that was really it. Like I said, it's too much pressure on the defense. The defense shouldn't always have to bail us out. And it's too much pressure on kicker Greg Zuerlein. He was left at the end of the game
Yeah, that was tough.
to score, to tie the game. But 50-yard kick?
Come on.
Like, come on, man. Why does he have to try to hit a 50-yarder, a 58-yarder, which he missed?
Although, if we still had Folk.
Oh, well, Nick Folk. I mean, come on, man. Don't get me started on my man Nick Folk.
We missed
Yeah, we missed Nick Folk big time. Nick Folk might have been able to get that, but
He might
even
have been able to hit that.
still, Greg Zuerlein's a good kicker. He's
Don't
not bad.
don't
He's not
disrespect
bad.
Greg
Greg
Zuerlein.
the
He's
leg
good.
is
He's
nice,
good.
but Nick Folk was that dude.
He was that dude.
He was that dude. But again, Zach Wilson can't put us in that position where we gotta kick a 58-yarder at the end. That's even a lot for Nick Folk.
That's nuts.
That 58 yards is a lot for any kicker. But, like, come on, man. 58-yarder to tie the game at the end of the game that we should have won. Like, it shouldn't come down to that. So I don't blame Greg Zuerlein. This falls on a lot of people in the Jets, but Zach Wilson, he's not ready. He's just not ready.
That's a
Like I said,
statement.
he didn't play terribly, but I'm talking about overall from the games that I've watched, and I've watched all the games, if not all, but most. I just, when he's in the game, it seems like there's no juice. Like, it seems like, I don't know, it's just a different energy when he's in the game as opposed to Mike White. It seems like there's more energy in the game when Mike White's in the game. It seems like guys are juiced up to play for him. And I don't get that. It doesn't seem like the same reaction is for Zach Wilson. He doesn't get the juices flowing when it comes to the other guys on that team, it seems. It just, they don't play for him. I don't think they believe in him the same way.
Interesting.
That's what I see on the field. I'm an eye test guy, and that's what I see when I watch the games. I don't see that they have that same fervor to play for Zach Wilson the way they play for Mike White. And Mike White is still out with the rib injury. So the Jets play the Jaguars tonight. It's Thursday night football. Jets will be playing against the Jaguars, and So I don't know. It's going to be a tough one because Zach Wilson is going to be a starting quarterback. Mike White is still out with the rib injury.
Do we have any ETA on?
I don't know. It's a week-to-week situation.
Week to week.
So I'm assuming next week he'll play, but I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. With ribs, it's a funny injury. It's hard to say if they'll be healed enough for him to play. I thought he would be back this week, but it's a quick turnaround playing a Thursday night game, so he's clearly not cleared for contact.
Well, hopefully with the extended, with them playing tonight and then not playing again.
Right, until next Sunday.
Maybe that.
Maybe it should be enough time for him. He's a trooper. I know he wants to play, but if the doctors don't clear you, they don't clear you. You can't play. Nah, I mean I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, but
I think we talked about that.
And I talked about that in the last video. I mean if you're not ready to play, you're not ready to play. I'm okay with it. It's just that I was hoping Zach Wilson would be able to get at least one or two of these games, and that's not happening. So hopefully Mike White can get back in there sooner than later if he's healthy. Hope he can get back in there and give us some type of hope. I mean, the hopes are slim for the playoffs, but I still want to see him out there and gain more chemistry with the team that he has out there now. I'd like to see that. I hope that he can get back on the field for the next few games. But we'll see how that goes. Speaking of Jacksonville Jaguars, who the Jets play tonight, they scored 40 points against the Dallas Cowboys, 34 points. That was tough. Jaguars are now 6-8, and the Cowboys are 10-4. Dallas gave that game away. Dallas gave that game away. They were up 27-10. They were up 27-10 in that game.
That's a lot. That's a
yeah, and they're the better team in that matchup. They're the better team in that matchup. 27-10, and they lose in overtime. Dak Prescott was 23 for 30, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. People are going to talk about that last pass at the end of the game.
When he was on the floor.
It wasn't a good look for him. Granted, it was a tip pass. I don't always blame the quarterback for something like that because it was a tip pass to Noah Brown. The pass got intercepted by Jag safety, Rayshawn Jenkins. Great play by Rayshawn Jenkins. Don't take nothing away from him. Great play. But if you throw an interception, you gotta make the tackle. You can't let that guy run in for a touchdown in overtime to end the game. You gotta at least make the tackle. If you lose by a field goal. Don't lose by a touchdown. Like that, God bless his soul, tried to make the tackle, and he ended up getting tackled. He got blocked and got hit to the ground. It wasn't a good look. Boy, he tried. He tried. Quarterbacks are not used to tackling. So he tried to save the play. It didn't work out in his favor, but I give him an E for effort for trying to make the play on the ball, and somebody got to him before he got to Rayshawn.
You can get some sprinkles.
Nah, so losers don't get sprinkles. Losers never get sprinkles. You can't get sprinkles because you lost the game.
He get an E, but no sprinkles.
He get an E for effort, but no sprinkles. You only get sprinkles when you win.
Okay.
But shout out to Dak for trying to make the play. But you can't be up 27-10 in that game and lose. No. You can't. Not against the Jaguars. The Jaguars are not a great team. You can't lose that game.
Don't talk too loud. We might lose that game tonight.
Listen, we got the Jaguars tonight. I mean, their quarterback is Trevor Lawrence. I'll take Trevor Lawrence over Zach Wilson any day. But it's a game that we gotta win. If we want to stay in the playoff hunt, we it's looking very, very slim to make the playoffs. But if you want to stay in the hunt, you gotta win games like that. You gotta win.
Yeah.
You gotta win. And it's a home game. Like, you gotta win your home games. Listen, if we don't win tonight, I think it's a wrap. I don't think we have any shot of making it if we lose tonight. So, those are the cards we've been dealt, and Zach Wilson got to show up. He got to show up. You don't want to have that game come to the end because anything can happen. You want to have the win securely in place in the fourth quarter. If not, it could be very risky. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. You don't want to give him a shot to win that game at the end. So I have all the faith in the world in our defense, but our offense got to put up points. And that starts with Zach Wilson. That's all I got to say about my Jets.
Okay.
But like I said, with Dallas, they should have won that game. They should have won that game. They're making it harder on themselves right now. Moving on to my other team, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, you don't talk about
I don't talk about them that much because they're 6-8 this season. They're struggling this season.
I don't think I've seen any of their games.
Yeah, because it hasn't been much hype about the Steelers this year. They beat the Carolina Panthers though, 24-16.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been rough on my Steelers. It's been rough on them this year, and I don't blame Mike Tomlin. I hope nobody's blaming Mike Tomlin because it's not his fault. You know, they've been ravaged with injuries. But, you know, there's people that will blame him for that, and I hope that doesn't happen. Because at the end of the day, Mike Tomlin is still a great, great coach.
Right. I mean, he's proven that year after
He's
year.
proven. This will be the first time they've had a losing record under Mike Tomlin. So that says a lot. They've been without T.J. Watt for most of the season, who was their best defensive player. But in this game, the Steelers' defense was great. They held the Carolina Panthers to 16 points. The running game was unbelievable. They ran for 156 yards, 3 touchdowns on 45 carries. Quarterback Mitch Trubisky was decent. He's not a great quarterback, but he didn't make any mistakes, no interceptions. He went 17 for 22, 179 yards, and he had 1 rushing touchdown. So Mitch Trubisky did what he's supposed to do. He's a game manager. But the Steelers won the game, so I have to shout out my Steelers for at least being competitive. You know, even with all the nonsense they've been through this season with injuries and stuff like that. Shout to them. Shout to Najee Harris, running back Najee Harris, who doesn't get enough credit, I feel.
Okay.
As one of the best running backs in the league. Najee Harris, young guy, but he had 24 carries, 86 yards. He had a touchdown as well. But Najee Harris, that's a big running back. He plays with a lot of force, and I like him a lot. So I think Najee Harris is going to be one of the great ones. Speaking of one of the great ones, Franco Harris, Hall of Famer Franco Harris, died this week. 72 years old. He died this past week. Franco Harris, one of the best running backs for the Pittsburgh Steelers ever. Comfort to his family and friends.
Yeah.
But rest in peace, Franco Harris. And we'll leave it there.
Okay, that's all you got for us?
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Keep it short and sweet this week.
We'll see what those Jets do, what they managed to do tonight.
Yeah. I don't know. Listen, I don't have a lot of faith when Zach Wilson's our starting quarterback. I just don't. I don't think he's ready. I just don't think. I think he's a young quarterback. I think he has a lot of potential, but I just don't think he's ready to run this team at this point. This team is a great defensive team. This team has a lot of great weapons on the offensive end with their wide receivers and tight ends and running backs. But he's not on their level at this point. They're ready to win, and he's not ready to win yet.
Oh, wow.
You know, that's just my assessment. He's just not ready yet. And he's young, so I can't fault him for that.
Right. He'll probably
But
get there over
he's not developing at the same rate as the team. This team used to be a laughingstock. This team is not a laughingstock anymore. Teams take the Jets very seriously now when they play them. They know that there's a chance that they're going to be in for a dogfight. And Zach Wilson he's not quite ready. And I think the team recognizes that.
Right.
He's not quite ready. That's why Mike White was in there. You know, Mike White seems more ready. You know, he gets the ball out faster. He makes quicker decisions. And the team seems to play for him. You know, Zach Wilson, he's out there thinking, it seems. You know, he's not reacting fast enough to what's going on. He's not reading the other team's defense fast enough. And by him not making quicker decisions, he ends up making mistakes. Mike White, you could tell he's processing things a lot faster, and he's having success because of that.
Nice.
So I'm hoping Mike White gets back in there.
Okay.
I'm really hoping for that.
All right.
So I'll leave it.
Yeah, you leave it there, but definitely we hope that people will sound off in the comments and let us know what you think about that. If you're a Jets fan, obviously, if you're not a Jets fan, you probably could care less. But if you're a Jets fan, do you agree with Sporty Shorty's assessment that Zach Wilson, he's just not seasoned enough to keep up with the team as it exists right now? And we'll be rooting for the team tonight.
Sure will.
Go Jets.
Go Jets. Jets.
Jets.
Jets.